Hello everyone! This next game was played in the 2016 Ultimate Blitz Challenge in St. Louis. It's played between Garry Kasparov and Wesley So. And I just wanted to say that I always enjoy watching Garry play the Scotch, because he really started the opening during his 1990 World Championship match in Lyon against Anatoly Karpov. So he really understands the positions that arise from this opening and, its secrets and poisons. So let's see the game. Kasparov is white and he plays e4. We have e5, knight to f3, knight to c6, d4, e captures on d4, the Scotch, knight captures on d4, knight to f6, and here Kasparov goes for the Schmidt variation, knight captures on c6. We have b captures on c6 and now e5. Wesley plays queen to e7, pinning the pawn. We have queen to e2, and now knight to d5. Kasparov plays c4 and bishop to a6, now pinning this pawn. We have b3, g6, bishop to a3, attacking the queen, and Wesley pushes c5. So we have g3, bishop to g7, and f4. And although this was a blitz game, Kasparov really played it like it was a bullet game. He really understood what was going on here. So Wesley played knight to b4. We have a bishop to g2, attacking the rook on a8, so rook to d8, knight to c3, and here Wesley castles. We have a bishop back to b2, and d5 by Wesley So. And here Kasparov plays a3. This knight can't really move away from b4 because, this pawn will fall, since the knight and the bishop are attacking it. So Wesley decides to push d4. Kasparov plays a captures on b4, we have d captures on c3, and bishop captures on c3. And now c captures on b4, and the bishop goes back, bishop to b2. And now Kasparov is attacking this bishop on a6, so Wesley plays bishop to c8. And in this position, Kasparov could have captured this pawn on a7, but he doesn't want to allow rook captures on a7 and queen to c5, attacking the rook and also disabling white from castling. Because Kasparov, like I always say, favors activity above all, and he doesn't want to give up his activity over one pawn. So after bishop to c8, Kasparov decided to castle. And here Wesley So definitely should have considered a move like queen to c5 check to get a hold of this strong diagonal here, and maybe bishop to f5 next and something like that. But he played f6, trying to break the white center. And I remember watching this game live, and Maurice Ashley and Yasser were, discussing that bishop to d5 check is the strongest engine move, but will Kasparov be able to see it in a blitz game? But Kasparov actually instantly played bishop to d5 check. And this is, the critical position of the game, and it's interesting what Black can play here. He does have to calculate a lot, because you have a different poisonous line waiting, like king to h8, for example, and then e captures on f6. If Black would capture white's queen, then you have f captures on g7 with checkmate. And even if you don't capture the queen, you do have something like bishop captures on f6 and queen captures on e7, and the bishop cannot capture the queen because it's pinned. So there are all sorts of ideas here. Probably after e captures on f6, Wesley would have to play something like queen to c5 check, and then figuring out what to do next. But it was a blitz game, and it wasn't at all clear what would happen here. So after bishop to d5 check, Wesley decided to play rook captures on d5 to give up the exchange. So Kasparov played c captures on d5, and now Wesley plays queen to c5 check. Kasparov plays rook to f2, and now f captures on e5. We have bishop captures on e5, bishop captures on e5, and queen captures on e5. And now Wesley plays rook to d8, going for that d pawn. So Kasparov plays rook to d1. We have bishop to g4, attacking the rook. We have queen to d4, attacking Black's queen. So queen to a5, and now rook to d2, rook d to d2. We have rook to e8 and king to g2, just getting out of the first rank, to avoid any checks and tricks. So Wesley plays queen to b5. We have h3, kicking the bishop, a bishop to f5, g4, kicking the bishop again, bishop to e4 check, and now king to h2. And Wesley plays c5. So Garry plays queen to f6, we have c4, and Kasparov disregards this and pushes his own pass pawn, d6. So we have bishop to c6, preventing d7, and Kasparov plays f5. He wants to break through to attack the king. F captures on g6 would be deadly now. So Wesley plays rook to f8, attacking the queen. We have queen to e6 check, king to g7, and here Kasparov plays d7 and well, is threatening the queen on d8, but Wesley tries one more idea. He plays queen to c5, and in this position, well, Garry Kasparov just played queen to d6. Although it's interesting to see what happens if Kasparov plays pawn to d8 and gets a queen. You would get something like pawn to d8 queen, black would capture here, and white would simply play f captures on g6, threatening queen to f7 check and queen to h7 check. So black would probably have to play something like rook to f8, and you would get rook to f7 check. Rook captures on f7, queen captures on f7, and now the king can go to h8 because it's mate. So king to h6, you'd get queen to h7 check, and after king to g5, queen to h5 check, and king to f4, and picking up the queen. But Kasparov doesn't go for calculating a long line like this. It's a blitz game, so in this position Kasparov just plays queen to d6, a normal human move that makes Wesley So resign instantly, because, well, he's attacking his queen, and if they exchange queens, well, the bishop is attacked and this pawn is ready to become a queen. This can't be stopped. So yeah, like I said, after queen to d6, Wesley So resigned. And yeah, I always enjoy watching Garry play the Scotch. Even Nakamura fell victim in this tournament to Garry's Scotch. And I wonder who will be brave enough in the St. Louis Rapid this year to play the Scotch against Garry Kasparov. So yeah, that's the game. I do hope you enjoyed it. As usual, you can check two of my previous videos here, and I will see you soon.